I became a little bit emotional. What an introduction it was. I mean, she was running there and back and there and back. I'm telling you, she was running like this for 4 days already, 5 hours per day, because we were practicing so long. So this is nothing for...
My secret. My stuff, I'm sitting there.
No.
Sorry.
First of all, I would like to say thank you very much for this warm hospitality. I really feel like at home, because I met already in past 10 minutes so many people. You're smiling, you're singing. When you were singing, I couldn't stop myself. I was moving like this, although I didn't know the song. And yeah, so many, she introduced to me so many dancers also here. So please, I encourage you to move your body to dance. This is something the best you could do. And of course, doctors, scientists, lecturers, come on, you are such a great group, and I feel a little bit, what can I tell you more? You already know everything. But I picked up this title, Scientist in Dancing Shoes. Actually, I had the interview a few years ago for some Serbian papers. And we did at that moment repackaging of spent nuclear fuel at our research reactor. And also at that moment I was preparing myself to dance world championship in New York, in the States. And I can tell you it was crazy. I was sleeping like 4 hours and doing this radiation protection job, then running into dancing studio to practice. And we are from Serbia, we need visas and everything else, so preparing visas and papers. It was so crazy. And that guy reporter came to me and he said, we want to make an article to write an article about you. We heard you're this and that, and then we picked up the title for that article, and I really liked it. And this is why I put it over here. I'm coming from Serbia, small country in Balkans, in Europe, only 7 million of people. And I was talking to Sidon just now, and he asked me, how come that you have so many sportsmen, engineers, artists, musicians, so many famous people that contributed to this world, in positive manner? And I said, I don't know. Maybe we have, heritage from previous generations, from former big Yugoslavia. Maybe we were, older generations were educated in, Russian style, that everything has to be strict and, done. You don't think, you just do it. But somehow, up to date, we made some mix of everything. I think we kept the good basis about thinking of, job, duties, about things that have to be done. Simply, this is it. You have to do it, yes or no. If you do it, there will be success. If no, there is nothing. And I can tell you that living in Serbia, average is not so good. So average salary per month is 200 up to 300 US dollars. And I think that this is the reason why me and Novak Djokovic, for sure, tennis player, and so many other people really want to move from that environment, but to stay and contribute to that environment with all the positive things that they can do. So there is some, driving motion inside of us. I recognized, I don't know if it's my talent or what is it. I recognize my abilities, that I can move borders since I was very little, since I was very young. And this, I wouldn't say anger, but this inner power really was driving me crazy, both in scientific, in educational way, and in this dancing way. And I will tell you a little about a bit of this line also, how I started to dance and how I developed my career and how I realized that like dancing so much, and maybe dancing is number one in my life. But when parents of children I trained back in my country ask me, but what do you think about education? Our kids cannot train so much and have good marks in school. What do you think? How can we organize the time for them? And I say, education is number one. And this is the most important thing. We have to be educated, we have to study, we have to learn, and number one, we have to think. And this is what I say to everybody. We don't have to agree. And it's good if we don't agree. This means that we think, and then apparently we will come up to solution. If we agree immediately, this means that we don't think, and this is no good. So I tell them, please give all the power and all, support to your kids that they get education. This is, the only way how can they be successful. They can dance or do sports, of course, but still, education is number one. So back in my country, during 1990s, when I started my primary school, former Yugoslavia was partying and was falling apart, and we had really difficult time. All 1990s were in the shadow of wars, and the atmosphere was, plus minus, not so happy, but not so bad, not happy, but somehow we were always in some anxious mood. We didn't know what will come tomorrow. And then finishing with 1999 with bombardment of Yugoslavia, finally we finished that period of wars, and I can tell you it was really difficult time for all us who at that moment went to primary schools or high schools, because it was very also hard for our parents to introduce us what are the role models for us. I mean, I'm a little bit emotional now, but because I remember, but some of the parents of my friends simply didn't come back home. And we had this message with us. So we knew, us who, had a little bit more brain or maybe some vision or whatsoever, that we have to do something. Maybe what I do or what you do is not so, big comparing to the 7 billion people in the world, but it is important. Because making a step like this every day, and if we all make steps like this every day, this will move the borders. And this is the motive I have in me, first to challenge myself. What can I do more? What are my limits? I mean, people say, wow, you finished PhD, you're national champion, this and that, and I say, yes, this is normal for me, but can I do more? Yes. Let's, push the borders and do so good things for our society and for our family first, friends, because those are the people who live in our environment. And this is the main message I would like to give to you. And this is the main driving machine inside of me, like every day, that moves me to, survive in both lines, because inside of me live two Ivans, one engineer Ivan and one dancing Ivan. And I will tell you that dancing Ivan is winning still, but you will see why. So back on my story, and regarding my education, I finished primary school in Belgrade, and I knew that I like mathematics and physics and all those things. I will tell you one more secret about me, but this will come later when I will speak about dancing. I went to competitions in mathematics and physics, and I liked it. I liked it so much. And that was the time when I realized I will do something, in connection with mathematics and physics whatsoever. So at the end of the primary school, I was awarded as the best student of generation. You know, I was happy, my parents were happy, we made celebration, and it was perfect. Then comes a period of high school, and you know, I was older, I was, you know, at the moment to make some decisions, and at that moment, my friends already knew. One wanted to study medicine, the other wanted to study law, the third one wanted to study architecture. I knew nothing. From October, November, they already started their preparations for this enrolling exam for the university, and I was dancing. I didn't care. I just, you know, cared that I have good marks in school, but I didn't care. University, what is this? What is this? I have competition in dancing. I will think later. So apparently from November to the June next year, I still didn't decide anything. I came back from England, from competition, and I had only 20 days. And I said, okay, you're good in maths and physics, go on electrical university, this is, you know, the easiest thing to enroll. But to be honest, I wanted to do medicine. And I wanted to become surgeon, but I realized that I couldn't do those things on kids. Simply as that I have my sister, she is 12 years younger than me. And this had big impact on my life, I will also tell you later. So finishing my high school also I was awarded as the best student of generation, and I can tell you, I got a lot of money. And this was, I'm telling you, this was really important for me because I could buy new dancing costume and new shoes. So I'm still in that, you know, regime. So after this comes this University of Belgrade, and I enrolled faculty of electrical engineering, still having, you know, somewhere there, you know, love for medicine and biology. And I was thinking myself, okay, go into it and you will see what is going to be after. So I finished my bachelor studies in the Department of Physical Electronics, and I can tell you it was good. It was really good. Out of 10, I had average mark after 4 years 9.5, which is really good. And third or fourth year, I had subjects like principles of biomedical engineering, biomechanics, biology, and informatics. And somehow I started to combine this medicine that was, you know, attacking me from behind, and mathematics and physics. And it was really good. I enjoyed all 4 years, and then I enrolled my master's studies. I finished master's science in electrical engineering and computer science on module for biomedical and ecological engineering, and I was exploring influence of low-level electromagnetic fields on human body. And it was interesting to me. At that moment I got the job, I will speak about this later, and I enrolled my PhD. So I had dancing, PhD, and nuclear job. Crazy. I'm telling you. PhD in electrical engineering and computer science module for nuclear, medical, and ecological engineering. So in this biomedical engineering, we had some niche of nuclear medicine, and I liked it so much. We had subjects: nuclear physics, nuclear medicine, radioactive waste, principles of nuclear reactors, and so many similar subjects. And I realized, number one, I like this. Number two, I like because it's different. And number three, it was somehow special. I mean, all of my life I was, you know, special and different. So it combined into my personality. So both master and PhD studies, I was really for it, and I finished with 10 out of 10, mark 10 out of 10, and I really enjoyed it. And of course, in parallel with my education goes the other dancing line, and you will see it. You will see it after. So academia, I was lucky lucky to be offered, and then I enrolled World Institute for Nuclear Security in Vienna, in Austria, and I finished this February, this World Institute for Nuclear Security, and I became certified nuclear security professional, so I can work anywhere in the world with this license on subjects of nuclear security. Very sensitive issue. I will speak about this a little bit later. I became a systems research professor or research associate in the field of technical and technological sciences in electronics, telecommunications, and information technologies. It sounds wow, but I have to tell you the secret. I just applied for the position. I have, on the paper everything is great, except my time. I don't have time for this. Just from time to time, I give lecture on radiation protection and radiation safety when I can. And this is, pending. I don't have time, I don't use it. Maybe sometimes later in my life, I will maybe move onto this position because I like to travel around, I like to meet people, I like to work on different places to learn more. Although I have achieved so many things, I have to learn a lot. This is what I know for sure. And the last one, what I did 6 weeks before my trip to Taiwan, is nuclear non-proliferation. I was educated and I was in Korean Advanced Institute for Science and Technology in Daejeon and in Seoul in South Korea. So this July and this August in Nuclear Non-Proliferation and Education and Research Center. And I was, we were divided in some 5 groups trying to figure out the current constraints and challenges on the world's nuclear market. At the moment, Russian Federation and China are developing and spreading their international nuclear exports market. Russian Federation plans to export in upcoming several decades 45 nuclear power plants to the new importing states that never had nuclear power before. This sets so many challenges: education of the people, nuclear safety, nuclear security, safeguards, all the installations and supporting constructions, grid, roads, objects. Russian Federation at the moment offers build, own and operate model. They also give the loan, they give money because they want to act geopolitically. And this puts great concern. Where is in this field nuclear non-proliferation or proliferation? Somebody has to control all those things. Russian Federation, although it's big and it has, let's say, quite good level of science and engineering, the question is, can they sustain this evolving nuclear market? China is doing the same. And I strongly support nuclear energy. This is the cleanest energy we have. But my role in nuclear is to protect. My role in nuclear is to bring the radiological and nuclear safety on the highest possible level. At the moment, nuclear generation number 4 are being developed and constructed with a likelihood for disaster of 0. It is possible with redundant mechanisms. We need nuclear for medicine, for health, for agriculture, for science, research, for engineering. We cannot live without this. In this sense, I support it. In another way, I want to be the part of the group of the people who try to make some boundaries. We have to be aware, we have to be educated. And this was my mission over there. And this was also my mission in the sense of nuclear weapons disarmament, because at the moment, of course, Russian Federation, USA, France, UK and China are nuclear weapon states. India, Pakistan and Israel are also nuclear weapon states, but they didn't sign NPT agreement. We had this concerning situation with North Korea. So we really did a serious job over there in Korea trying to find some recommendations in both lines for nuclear exports and for engineering as well as with policy. How to act regarding this disarmament. It was very challenging. We had also, I did one research over there. We had conference with people from all over the world, mostly from the US. We had one guy from Russian Federation, we had people from China, from South Korea, of course. So I think this, is one of the most important let's say, achievements or things I participated to, and I wanted just to stress on it and to show you, because although we think this, nuclear weapons and everything is in the past, in 60s or 70s, no. I mean, it's not publicly, people don't speak publicly about this, but, there are some sensitive subjects that are being discussed. So regarding my nuclear experience, when I finished my master's studies, I worked as radiation protection engineer in Vinča Institute of Nuclear Sciences in Belgrade. And I worked there for 1 year simply because the part of that institute became another entity in 2009. And from 2009 up to present, I work in public company nuclear facilities of Serbia. First employed as radiation protection engineer, then environmental radiation examination engineer, then radiation protection leading specialist, and now I am radiation safety officer. This means that whatever we will do in our country, and we have this one research reactor in decommissioning, we have 2 old storages for radioactive waste. We have 1 new storage waiting for the old waste to be repacked in the new storage. We have abandoned uranium mining site in eastern Serbia, abandoned in 1966, so more than 50 years abandoned, and we had some issue on safety and security of that site because of all those Syrian people who were crossing our territory of Serbia simply went into that abandoned site. So we had to, try to clean up, to protect, and, besides engineering and science, we need money, and these are some of the issues I'm dealing with all around the world, and I will show you later where I was trained. And this is, common practice, and this is the way how I want to contribute to the world, to my country, to the people, to my family, that although something nuclear has been used, we are sure that our environment is okay. I did gamma spectrometry measurements, radiological characterization, both in working environment and environment around nuclear facilities. I did occupational personal monitoring, and this is, sensitive issue, because now as radiation safety officer, I say, yes, you can enter the radiation field. You can work there for 20 minutes. You can remove that barrel with radioactive waste. You can stay there only 15 minutes. Tomorrow you will not work. You receive the dose. And at the end of the day, it's only upon me. And it is really serious. I'm confident in what I'm doing, but still I'm rechecking thousands of times. And those people are aware what are they doing, but still we have all the time conversation, because safety culture and speaking with the people is something what is the most important thing. They have to be aware, and they have to educate themselves, and they must not be afraid. If I see that there is some fear or some uncertainty, I say, okay, you will work tomorrow, relax today. This is the way how I have, and I can, and I must ensure that everything is done in the safest way. I was involved in planning and preparing emergency response if some accident or incident occurs. So we have emergency response team, and we have, the guideline and the timetable how to behave if something happens. And I did radiation protection during the packaging of spent nuclear fuel back in 2009 and 2010, together with International Atomic Energy Agency, people from Russian Federation, and people, of course, from the United States. And this was my first task at my work, and it was, very serious and very difficult. People were repackaging spent fuel with tools long 6 meters under the water. We were monitoring all those parameters, dose rates, contamination of water in the spent fuel pond, and so many other things. So these 2 years, 2009, 2010, really brought me up, and at that moment I realized two things: that I'm capable of doing this, and this is something that I would like to continue on. I went through environmental remediation and decommissioning training organized by International Atomic Energy Agency in USA, in Argo National Laboratory, in Russia, in Obninsk, near Moscow, in Italy, in Joint Research Center of European Union in Ispra, near Milan, in Vienna, in the headquarters of the International Atomic Energy Agency, and I went to Azerbaijan and Tajikistan because they have, legacy sites, and we went there on the field to see how they actually implement all those things that we were learning about. I had trainings on nuclear security. Besides my finishing this World Institute of Nuclear Security in Vienna, I was trained by the people from the US Department of Energy. And I gave some lectures on lessons learned after repackaging of spent nuclear fuel. So how did we organize our radiation protection? How did we behave during those year and a half of this great engineering job we did? Because it has been announced that this is the biggest technical cooperation program between IAEA, Russia and United States in the world so far, over some 55 million of something dollars or euros, I don't know. And I gave lectures in Vietnam, in Uzbekistan, and in USA, in South Carolina, just before my trip here to Asia. And I was awarded with diploma in USA after finishing those courses. So this is how does it look like. We have to follow regulations, rules, standards, to see other practices, having guidelines and policies. When we come on site, luckily in Serbia, this is not the case, but in the world, especially in former Soviet republics, we have sites like this, barrels with radioactive wastes. So what do we do? How do we perform environmental remediation? How do we perform measurements, and how we assure that we can use this land after for any purpose that has been decided for. And I was lucky this year to receive email from IAEA to become National Project Coordinator for Europe Regional Projects 2016 and 17 with the title Strengthening Capacity for Harmonized Risk Assessment for Nuclear Facilities and Natural Hazards. So what happens if earthquake occurs or flooding or something else? There was a meeting in Vienna. I wasn't there, I was here in Asia. I know that the next meeting I will have in Italy in November, so I'm looking forward to see what are the expectations and how can I contribute into this one. And having seen all those crazy nuclear, weapons and decisions and wastes and nuclear reactors and nuclear power plants. Where dance fits over there? I mean, this is the question I'm asking myself maybe every day, but you know, this way is nuclear, this way is dancing, so you know, during in the dance, in the laboratory I put some music, I put samples to be measured, and then, you know, I like to move, and people got used to it, so I like to say that this is my life. This is something that shaped me. Over there I learned to lose, number one. Then I learned to win. Then I learned how to maintain. And now comes the secret. When I was young, I was really fat. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And the question I was asked, why did you start to dance? I will tell you now. Simply because I couldn't do anything else. You know, in the primary school I was like this, big belly, basketball, no chance. You know, I played football. Do you know how? I was standing on the goal like this, and waiting for the ball, and this was my maximum, so nothing. And really I had, not problems, but it wasn't pleasant. And you know, I couldn't do the turn because of my stomach. And when I was third grade of my primary school, this was period of crisis in Serbia, and our parents didn't have so much money to support any kind of sports. I mean, having football ball for that period of time was, you know, impossible. We were improvising, we were hitting something, but we couldn't dance. We could dance, we could sing. Nobody could steal this from us. And there was some advertising for this dancing school in 1993. At that moment I was 9. And our whole class went over there. I remember that teacher's daughter, who was also really like this, she was sitting with me together and she was in love with me, I remember. And she wanted to dance with me, and she took me and we went together on that class. And I know that every Friday from 5 to 6 we had this group lesson. And it was great. Singing, jumping, you know, kicking the legs, it was all new for me. It was fun, it was new energy, completely something else. And by time, it became, you know, a little bit serious and more serious and more serious. We learned some choreography, and before New Year, they said we had audition. What? Audition? Competition? What is this? Never mind. I went there. I did, you know, my movements. I couldn't move better than this. And after New Year, 5th of January on my birthday, I remember, I got a phone call. They called from dance studio and they said, you passed. Where did they pass? I mean, it was, come on. But, you know, three of us only went through. And they started to dance with a girl, skinny girl, 1 head taller than me. And it was like this. 1 year we practiced, first national championship 1995, 40 juvenile couples. I won last place. I even managed to fall down in Paso Doble. So the mother of that girl was very angry on me. And very soon after this debacle on national championship, she stopped dancing with me. And, you know, it was bad. I started to like this dancing, I wanted to have some results, but, you know, it simply couldn't be like this. On the other way, I had some, you know, upline in the school, good marks, but, you know, I want this as well, and some, you know, anger, or I don't know what was, you know, boiling inside. 1996, 1997, so my age 12. I decided and I realized I have, you know, to do something with my body. And I didn't know how. And I decided I will not eat. it was short. Usually for dinner, I could eat 5, 6, sometimes 7 sandwiches, it was too much. At the age of 12, you can decide something or think more serious about something. And this is important. I was studying a lot about kids after, because I started to work with kids. And so already at the age of 6 or 7, you have, somehow to shape them. And if we miss age 7, 8, and 9, for the movements, for the various kinds of movements, it's lost. We have to do that at that age. So with my age of 12, some things were already lost. So anyway, but I wanted still to change something. And I went to have a dinner, and I took only 2 sandwiches. Decision number 1, very good. After a few days, I had, 2 pieces of bread. I take 1 piece of bread and leave it. I eat only 1. After a few days, I take 1, cut it on half, eat only half. And during that summer, so June, July, August, and September, okay, this is, some adolescence period, you grow, but still, I was practicing, I tried to not eat so much, I lost 20 kilos. And maybe it was too much. I remember then, when it happened, I was so happy, body was already like, some results already start to come. And at that moment, I realized the truth about myself, that I really can fight with my best friend and with my best enemy, and this is me. That I really can hold on, the pressure and challenges that I set up front. And this is how my, dancing career basically started. I brought some decisions. I started to have good results. We started to practice more and more, because when you do dancing, it's not something, you go to some tryout, and the end, no. It's more than that. If you want to make 2 bodies, and I will show you the videos after, in perfect coordination, there are hours and hours of practice. When we prepare, and we prepare all the time, after my work, so after 3, 4, or 5 o'clock, I straight go to my dancing studio, practicing up to 11 in the night. When you start, you cannot stop. You must not stop if you want some result. We do stretching, Pilates, we go to the gym, we have to be fit, we have to learn to study all the connections about the body. We have to be ready all the time, because you will see we dance competitions with other couples around us. So we could be hit, we could be injured, so we have to learn how to move fast, and we have to support our partner. And I do 10 dances, Latin American and standard dances, I will show you. And there are so many things to be studied and trained, but I also took the lectures on, I worked with psychologists and with actors, because we are there on the stage. Judges and spectators and audience will see if you fake, and they will not mark you good. I can have perfectly, legs and everything, but if your performance is, not really emotional or not really characterized, as it should be, no good marks. So I had really a long period from, let's say, 1999 or 2000 up to now to go, and I still think that I can go more, because day by day I can see that some of the abilities of my body, I can improve. I can improve my performance, I can improve my choreographies, I can improve the story I want to tell. And this is, recursive mechanism that is going around and around. And when people ask me, but how can you combine those 2 things? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I know that I would be crazy if I do only nuclear, and I can tell you, I know that I would be crazy if I do dancing, because sometimes it's too much. Sometimes I don't want to move. I want to rest. I want to read. I want to do something else. So this combination for me is perfect, because from this, mindset of the regime, somehow I jump into the next one, where I use all the advantages of this one, to plan the training, to know the timetable, to plan the competitions, to know exactly the timing. I mean, they already know I kill them with all the details, and it should be done. This is why we need so many hours. If we are speaking really about some quality dancing and some quality moment, of course everybody can dance. And this is something I believe in. And everybody should dance. Why? I think that this is one of the main messages I would like to give. Why to dance? This is the perfect combination of getting know about your body, that you realize who are you about your physical body, to understand your mind, and number 3, the most difficult one, to understand your soul. And you have to have 3 of them. If you want, to have good result. But I'm interested in good result. But at the moment now, the good result is something different that I want to have or to achieve. Is this synergy of 3 of them: physical, body, mind, and soul. And if somebody asks me, then why do you do this? Number 1, I enjoy. And number 2, I ask them back, what do you do? Why do you do what you do? What is the purpose of life for you? And I wait for the answer. I ask, what is the purpose of life for you? And I think that everybody should think about this. For me, the purpose of life is to find the truth, whatever it is. The truth for myself, to be in, I don't know if it's English word correct, but in somehow in peaceful order with myself, to be satisfied, to be content. And through dancing I found this, combining with all these, crazy nuclear things I'm dealing with every day. Sometimes it's difficult. I have so many different stories from the other people. One guy approaches me and he asks me, Ivan, please, we are trying to have baby. Please don't send me in the radiation field. We both know that this is not good. And of course it stays confidential between him and me, and at the end of the day, in a way, I'm deciding some really sensitive things. I have to be clean. I have to be ready for those things. And I think that this dancing really helped me to clean up from the inside and really to be open and ready to talk to anybody. So number 1, ready to lose and to see, okay, if something bad happened, okay, how can we learn from this? And of course, ready to win, because you have to grab something. You want to make something. This year was very difficult for me because in the March I went skiing and I broke my leg. And I did it something for the first time in my life. I couldn't move for 2 months. It was disaster. This was my first stop for 23 years. I had break. Immediately after removing these gips, I went to rehabilitation. Immediately after this, I went to USA, and then I came here. And now I'm doing the lessons for the first time after March, and I'm so grateful and happy because I'm able to, perform, and still I feel some pain, but it will be good. And at that moment I really realized how valuable this is for me and how much this dancing is me. Not dancing as itself, put the arm to the side or twist your body here. No, but the whole story, whole structure. And people, you know, I just want to give you this my life story or my decisions that I really opened myself pretty much, and I want that you feel this, because people who don't do this maybe do not understand, and this is fully okay. I just want to make them closer and to bring this world closer to them, to see how this beautiful could be. And I would like now to go through some things I also prepared for you. So basically I do Latin American dances, 5 of them: samba, cha-cha-cha, rumba, paso doble, and jive. Standard dances, waltz, tango, Viennese waltz, slow fox, and quickstep. So some couples do only this 2013. And I won South European Vice Champion Standard title 2 times in 2013 and 2015. And now comes the best part. So here are some of the pictures. These are standard dances, competitions in Italy, left, competition in Moscow, on the right. Left, I don't know where it was, right, I know also it was in Russia. This is funny story. We danced competition, I think this was in Russia as well. And picture was published somewhere. I don't know, Facebook, I don't know. And I was walking in the Belgrade, through Belgrade, and I saw this painting in the gallery. And when you realize, and when you have the moment that somebody painted you from somewhere, and that you are standing in front of gallery, looking at the painting, and you are as a role model on painting, it was beautiful. The picture was already bought, so I couldn't have it. But, anyway, I asked, can I take the photo, at least? They said, yes, of course. And this is, I would like to say that this was one of my, achievements that I like the most. When you see something like this, out of nowhere. I was representing Serbia on European and World Championships, all over the world and Europe, and this is how it looks like. All the couples, the best couples, the national championship, national champions. This was in Austria, this was in Krasnodar in Russia. So the best ones appear and we dance. These are some of the pictures I also like. So basically, we do costumes on our own. We have some creators and people who make it, but we finance alone everything. Some countries in West of Europe and US, they have sponsors, but basically we are the ones who are paying for everything, and I can say it's pretty expensive, but it's our decision. If you want to look better and better, we have to give more and more. And yeah, these are some of the moments. These also competitions all around the world. It is like in tennis. We have competitions, we collect points. Competitions are being held every weekend somewhere in the world. We go, we change places, we travel Friday, dance Saturday, Sunday, we come back Sunday night or Monday back home. We practice again, and upon the result, we get points. Upon points, we are ranked, and upon the ranking, we can dance some championships or some important competitions. I gave so many interviews in Serbian papers, in some Russian papers. I picked up this one. The title is I only have things that I know. And this is they put the title. This is a picture from the competition. This was, this 2010 year when we did the repackaging of spent nuclear fuel, and I couldn't publish some other sensitive pictures, but this one went to the paper. So basically here was, the building of the reactor. Casks with the fuel were shipped out and repacked and loaded into the trucks, so reporters could use this photo. They made billboard with one of my pictures also. There was some, I don't know, in some shopping mall, and I went through, I was looking for the, shopping windows, and I saw myself. I saw myself here. It was amazing. And then I asked people, can you take the picture of me with me? So it was fun. I mean, we don't have, kind of celebrities in our country. We don't have this culture, but I'm glad that some things were recognized and that somebody, highlighted some things. And I don't live for this world or way of life, but I like to promote this because it's beautiful. Yeah, these are some of my favorite pictures with them a lot of time in Paris. And now I would like to show you just a few videos that you really have, insight how does it look like. This was World Championship in Moscow. Okay, I will skip on to the next one because I was told that we are about to finish. I want to show you a bit of every dance. This was in Ukraine. This is tango. We are in this pink dress. Okay, can I have 2 more minutes? Yes. I would like to show you one rumba. Okay, I will move to the next one. This is from World Championship 10 dance in Vienna, in Austria. one of the best videos, I can say. And 20 seconds of jive. Okay, and what do you think, huh? Was good? I would just like to give you one last message and to conclude my talk for today, but I'm just waiting for this. Yes. When I think back, of course, there is always better than better, and it could be always better than best. But I have the next sentence in my mind all the time, and I would like to pass it to you. So uniqueness is better than the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. That was truly very inspiring. On behalf